Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear viewers, we are back with the program. We have our special guest it's an honor and a great privilege for us to have today with us, Shaykh Muhammad Hisham Kabbani. And before the break, Shaykh, we were talking about some Muslim leaders, and you were telling us about the President of Indonesia. But just to talk about some of the Muslim leaders, who Muslims and the West tell us that they are dictators and tyrants, ruling ruthlessly. How can Muslims rid themselves of such rulers? There are some in the world, but how can the Muslims rid ourselves of these tyrants and these ruthless rulers who so-called Muslim leaders?
That is the problem of today, and that is a situation that it's very difficult to change if we don't follow the teachings of Islam and teaching of Prophet ﷺ. If we are going to follow the constitutions that has been given to us through different countries and build our constitution, and not to take the constitution of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has sent to us, this is going to happen to us. And we will never be up.
How can we rid ourselves of such tyrants and dictators who try to suppress their people and the Muslims across the globe? Why is that? And how can we bring about this immense change that is much needed in the Muslim world?
Are we on haq or batil?
Well,
we are on haq.
Alhamdulillah.
But we are not successful. Means we are not following the haq. We are on haq, that we are Muslims and our religion is Islam.
Yes.
But as Muslims, we are not doing what Allah wants from us, and we are following every kind of bad desires that other countries are doing. We are following them. Like what Prophet ﷺ said, you are going to follow those who came before you, arm by arm, hand by hand, until you will be following them totally as if you are not anymore Muslim.
Exactly, that is the point. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ, I have created you the best among nations. We are the best among nations. But why is it that we can't see that we are the best among nations? Why is that?
Allah said, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. So our duty is to call for good and to forbid what is bad.
Evil, yes.
We are not doing that part. We are taking, we are the best ummah. But the rest, the other part, we are not doing it. Muslims from all backgrounds, you can find some of them, they are following Sharia of Prophet ﷺ, but the rest, they are following their own hawa, their own desires, the way they want to interpret the Holy Quran.
But it's the West and certain think tanks, Shaykh, who are telling Muslims that there are certain reports who say that Muslims cannot coexist with people of other faiths, like the Hindus, the Sikhs, the Christians, the Jews. And they're telling us, and Muslims have begun to believe this, especially in the West, that we can't coexist with other faiths. And it's probably because they don't integrate into mainstream society. Do you think it's true that Muslims can't coexist with other faiths?
That's not true. And who is telling us? Why we have to believe the West that you have mentioned? Our tradition is there. Prophet ﷺ was not able to live within the ignorant people in Medina. He was not living between the Jewish people and the Christian people and the Zoroastrian and the Abadatul Awthan, the statue worshippers. He was living and he made treaties with them.
Yes, of course he did.
So how Sayyid al-Rusul, the seals of messenger, was able to live with his Sahaba with this kind of a community and accepting everyone and trying to extend his hand, even he knows that they are enemies to him, extended his hand and supported them in order that they will integrate together. Why we don't follow that sunnah of Prophet ﷺ and integrate within the countries that we are living in? Especially when you are overseas, you are not back at home, you are living in such country. Why we don't integrate with the system in order to build our identity?
SubhanAllah, that is so true, Shaykh. But then you have people in this country, in the UK, who've got very strong ties with their countries back home, that they cannot let go, they cannot sever those ties, for the simple reason they're probably far more stronger in tune with their own people back home than they are here. They've been living here for many, many years.
Let them go back home. They are making the problems for us.
But then they implement that culture here. How do you try and bring about a change where the culture is so rife amongst the nations, amongst the Asian people in this country? How do you bring about that change away from culture and into the deen?
What I did in America, I think many of Muslims has to do. When I saw the problems in masajid, I stopped going there. I stopped going. Not going as to pray, no, I go to Jum'ah, but I stopped going to do any activity in a masjid. Because I saw the problem in the masajid, especially in America, because it's different little bit from here. But when I went to non-Muslim communities and begin to have influences on the non-Muslim, convert them to Islam, bring them back to Islam. We build a core of very American and culturally based American people who had influence on the government, who had influence in every walk of life.
These are democratically elected governments. But then you have the West telling us that Muslims around the world, we are persistently being told that the best form of government is democracy. But is Islam and democracy, are they compatible?
Why we have to follow whatever they say? Why we have to accept what they ever say? We have our own democracy in Islam. It's an Islamic democracy. For the word now, it's look to some people it is their fantasy to use that word, but Islam brought it from beginning. We have democracy in Islam, but we have also a constitution in Islam. The democracy in Islam is when Prophet ﷺ left dunya, the Sahaba met and they were deciding who is going to be the successor. Not one of them said, I'm the son of Prophet, I want to be the successor. So there was a shura between them. Some people supported Sayyidina Ali. Some people, Ansar, supported the one from the Ansar. And the Muhajirun supported Sayyidina Abu Bakr. And finally they decided on Sayyidina Abu Bakr. What's that you say?
It's a consensus of the shura.
It's a shura, but in a way, this is our way. It means you decide, you speak, and you vote on it.
So what you're saying that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not designate a successor before departing from this world?
No, although there was a motive that prophets prefer Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq when he asked him to lead the prayer and Prophet was in the bed sick.
That was a signal.
That was a signal for Sahaba to understand. But he didn't order them.
He didn't designate it.
No, he let it to show that وَأَمْرُكُمْ شُورَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Your matter is to decide between you. So they decided. It's a democracy. If we want to use the word, this is the democracy. He gave them the choose, and they chose Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq.
Subhanallah. There are certain elements and forces that are widening the gap between the Sunnis and the Shias in the world. And the gap is widening deeper and further. Why is that? And how can Muslims across the globe live in harmony and peace as the message that you portray around the world. How can that be possible? As the time goes on, it's getting wider between the Sunnis and the Shia. How can we bridge that gap, Shaykh?
I ask scholars of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and I ask scholars of Islam, did the student of the fourth school of thought, as a Sunni school of thought, the Hanafi, the Maliki, the Shafi'i, and the Hanbali, did their student fought with each other or not? There was struggle between them.
Yes.
The Hanafi, they say our Shaykh is better. Maliki, they say no, our teacher is better. The Shafi'i, they say no, and they were fight in different areas around the world between students of each school of thought.
But do you think that we can find some common ground between the two groups where we can...
That's why the Shia, now Sunni, they came together and they say, oh, we have a problem here. Let us take the fourth school of thought and that's it, and we agree on it. Which school of thought you follow is okay with us.
So they agree to disagree.
They agree to disagree.
Right.
So why we don't do the same thing? I'm not saying that I am a Shia, but I'm saying this is what they believe. You cannot change them.
Right.
Leave them on their own, and we live our ways on our own. That's why Azhar of Egypt came with a fatwa.
Right.
Recently, might be 10, 15 years ago, that he accepted the Ja'fari school of thought even.
Right, okay.
As another school of thought, means the Shia school of thought. So from that point of view, in order to keep the Muslim united, they are not going to change their tradition, but they are better than those who come against Miladun Nabi.
Subhanallah.
They are better than those who does not accept the love of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At least they say we love Ahlul Bayt.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. One word, Shaykh, that's floating around the world in the media, amongst Muslims, amongst the kuffar, is the word jihad. Yes? And is there anywhere in the world that you believe that jihad is taking place in its true form? Anywhere in the world?
Now, no. Sorry to say that.
Right.
Before, yes. Before it was okay. But now, you don't know your enemy.
Subhanallah.
Where is the enemy?
Subhanallah, that's a powerful statement, Shaykh. That's a very powerful statement.
There are a lot of Muslim countries, very strong Muslim allies with the non-Muslims. And we go and make jihad against who?
Let me give you an example. Pakistan is a prime example at the moment where the government forces are fighting the terrorists, the militants in the mountains between Afghanistan and Pakistan. How do you portray? Because it's always in the media. So how would you tell the Muslims who is on the right side?
No one on the right side.
They're both wrong?
Both of them are taking money from different countries. Both of them.
Right.
Those who are on the right side are the Sunni, that they are being killed and being blown up with some radical element, violent element. They are killing hundreds of them every day of ulama of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Those are the wrong ones.
Allahu Akbar. And these are the people who have been in Afghanistan. They're living in the mountains and they've been sponsored state-sponsored terrorism.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what it is.
They know that they are, I don't like to use the word terrorist, but they know they are violent.
Yeah.
They are violent. They give them money. They are fighting for money. Right. It's nothing. Wow. Afghanistan till today, the first producer of cocaine and drugs.
Yes.
And how they say we are fighting for jihad? They are selling drugs. Who gave them that permission?
Allah Akbar.
Who gave them that right to sell forbidden what Allah and Prophet forbid? To sell it to the market. Are they doing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Similarly in Pakistan, similarly in every country, you see fight is for money. There is nothing else today.
We are shortly approaching the month of Muharram al-Haram. At the time when Sayyidina Imam Hussein gave his life for the deen. Today you see many Muslims giving their life for the deen. We are in a time of calamity. Why do you think that Muslims are suffering across the globe and we are undermined by other forces who are appear far more powerful. Why is it that Muslims are suffering so much calamity and these times of difficulty for the Muslims around the world? Why is that?
There is no resemblance between Sayyidina al-Hussein giving his life and those who are giving their lives today. Those who are blowing themselves today, it is not accepted Islamically, period.
Allahu Akbar.
You have no right. If you know your enemy, face him face to face. Sahaba and Prophet used to face their enemy face to face, not hiding behind the bushes and jumping on killing innocent people. Sometimes they are Muslim.
Yes.
Like what happened in World Trade Center in America.
Yes.
How many Muslims died?
Many Muslims.
Many Muslims died. So what you did? You killed Muslim and you killed non-Muslim. For what? What you benefit? Nothing. So
it's not a time of one of the hadiths of the Prophet ﷺ that there will come a time which is a sign of the day of judgment when the killer, the murderer, will not know the reason why he's killing.
And the one who died doesn't know why he was killed.
Why he's killed, yes.
That is, of course, you brought me to a subject that I didn't want to touch on it. It is the predictions of Prophet ﷺ about the last days.
Subhanallah.
We are in the last days.
Allahu Akbar.
Most of ahadithun Nabi ﷺ, let ulama go, and that's why I was saying yesterday in Blackburn, in the masjid, that, and before in London, that we are not telling our youngsters and our youth, teaching them about the last days. We are teaching them how you pray, you must not do this, you must not do that, you must, very principal issues which are important, but you are not giving them that prepare yourself. You are in the days that coming worse and worse and worse in front of us, as Prophet ﷺ mentioned.
Shaykh, you're talking about children, and I think it's imperative and of paramount importance that we talk about the children, the Muslim children, who are the future of Muslims around the world. In this country, as you know, and you will have witnessed, because you come here many times, that the youngsters and the youth of this country are being radicalized by certain elements and certain groups. I'll give you an example, Hizb ut-Tahrir, al-Muhajirun. How would you give a message to the youth of today, of this country and the West, to stay away, stay clear of these people who are radicalizing the youth and keep themselves clean and pure on the true path of Islam, rather than going extreme and going to carry out acts of terrorism or potential terrorism, here or abroad? How do you actually give that message, and how would you encourage Muslims, youth in particular, to steer clear from these elements?
The problem is that we gave so much liberty to our children.
Yeah.
So with this liberty that you gave to them, you cannot anymore control them. So they went so far in everything. So now to bring them back, need a steady people dedicating their life to follow the youth. And who are these people? Those who want to control the world, like those who call for, as you just mentioned, they want to be the owner of the world and the voice of the Muslim.
They want an Islamic State.
That's true. They want an Islamic State. I was telling people that Pakistan is not an Islamic State.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia is not Islamic State. Nigeria is not Islamic State. These are the three Islamic states that...
Yes,
No. They declare this as an Islamic State.
Right.
It's okay. Let us see these three countries unite and be one king on them.
Right.
This is not the Khilafah meaning of the Khilafah. The Khilafah means to come to agree on one person from the whole Muslim Ummah. The principle of Khilafah is not someone Khilafah appoint himself or his 10,000 people appoint him and wants to take the country and blow everyone else with his money. No, Khilafah has principles.
Exactly. Like you described earlier when Sayyidina Abu Bakr was elected amongst the consensus of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
That's true. That's true. That's how you have to come to the whole Muslim countries and tell them who unite and then appoint one Khalifa. Then we follow that Khalifa. But other than that, there is no Khalifa. Khalifa for what? Khalifa for these people are running Hizb ut-Tahrir, are running after and dedicating their students and teaching their students, and they have schools here in England. They are teaching their students, and unfortunately young ones, to be segregated from everything and to dedicate their life to tell the youth in their ages that we have to follow Khilafah, we have to follow Hizb ut-Tahrir. So there is a tremendous machine behind them, moving them forward.
Who is this machine, Shaykh? Who is this tremendous machine, and who is powering them? Who is empowering them? Who is financing these groups? Who do you think it is? And how come they're so powerful?
Why Iblis is not powerful?
Allahu Akbar.
Iblis running after every Muslim and non-Muslim, and his devils. These are his virtual office.
Right.
They are virtual office. All those people, Hizb ut-Tahrir and Muhajirun and all others, not only Hizb ut-Tahrir and many others like them.
Yeah.
They are virtual offices of Iblis on dunya.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
That's what Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. سيكون زمان الفتن كقطع الليل المظلم. There will be coming a time that fitna, confusion, is like big chunk of dark nights. Huge. You're looking at the skies and you see a huge part of chunk light is going to be like that. The one who is al-qa'idu khayrun min al-mashi, the one who is sitting better than the one who is standing. The one who is standing is better than the one who is walking, because you endanger yourself into problem. No backup. So when this happened, he said, take your sword, go to the mountain, hit the rocks until you empty your anger, take your bows and arrow and break it. Allah. This is a Bukhari hadith.
Subhanallah.
So that's what we are seeing today. So there is no way, we don't have these machines, the money machine behind us. What happened in Afghanistan is a money machine.
Allahu Akbar, it is. Sheikh, I want to give you an example. We're talking about the groups in the West, particularly in the UK. You have a 15, 16-year-old child who's left school, about to enter college. Now, this child is confused because he's a Muslim in the UK. He's brought up in a secular education. He's had secular education. He's entering the world of college. He's got Muslims around him. You've got the Wahhabis, the Sunnis, the Shias. He's seeing conflicting reports in the media. And Muslims, as you know, are continually on a media trial throughout the world. So he's got a lot of questions and no answers for these questions within himself. He is about to embark on further education. And he's been hounded by people like Hizb ut-Tahrir. How can he save himself? How can that child save himself?
He has to save himself through ulama al-Ummah, scholar of the Ummah. Unfortunately, with my respect and my love to ulama al-Ummah, they are not doing their duties. They want only to run the masajid and speak only their language. You understand me?
Yes.
They don't leave any opportunity for youngsters who speaks English very well to keep educating them, to go after these people like what Hizb ut-Tahrir is doing,
yes,
in order to bring these people back to their normal life. We are leaving them in schools, no activity. I found that between Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. I'm saying it's true.
And you've seen this. You've witnessed this firsthand.
No way you can unite them. They don't want.
And this is a lesson that you're giving to the ulama of this country?
Yes, for sure. Ulama of this country are going to be questioned in day of judgment. Why you let your children go after Hizb ut-Tahrir or go after radical ideologies? You have masajid, majority of masajid in England are under the hand of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah.
Yes, subhanallah.
Minority of the masajid are under the hand of the Salafi group and the radical ideology group or Hezbollah.
Why do you think
they are active? We are not active.
But why do you think that is? Why?
Ulama arrogant. Some ulama of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah arrogant. They want to keep everything to themselves in their hands. Leave it out.
Isn't it a duty of an ulama, of an alim, to part with that knowledge to the people of his area? Isn't that a...
It is, but I don't know why they are. I know some ulama very good. They give the but there are others here in Pakistan, India, Arab countries. They don't want to let it go. They like the chair. This is problem. Hubbur riyasa in Arabic, the love of to be a leader. You want? We are ants. We are nothing. We are nothing, garbage. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us something. Allah honored us with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No one alim can raise his head in day of judgment in front of Allah. All prophets are going to be shaking.
Allahu Akbar.
Why they are, what they think themselves.
Allahu Akbar.
Me, I am an ant. I wish to be an ant because I will not be responsible, no account. That's why our Prophet ﷺ, Allah gave him shafa'ah to intercede for us. So don't see yourself. Your existence is Allah made. Can you live forever? No. So it means you have no existence. It's in Allah's hand. At any moment He takes you.
Allahu Akbar. Shaykh, that was a beautiful description about the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah of this country, and I think it's an eye-opener. I think it's imperative that you've mentioned this to the ulama of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. It's very rare that we get the leaders addressing their own people in this manner. Subhanallah, that's beautiful. One thing that I want to ask you, and as we're approaching Muharram al-Haram, is, was Karbala a political war? Was it a political war?
How is it a political war?
The Salafis say that it was a political war.
When Prophet ﷺ predicted that Sayyidina al-Hasan and Hussein are Shabab Ahlul Jannah and they are going to be the first martyrs.
Allahu Akbar.
Shuhada is two of them.
Subhanallah.
Prophet ﷺ predicted their akhirah, how they are leaving dunya.
Subhanallah.
It was not a political issue. They want to say it political in order to excuse themselves to say, oh, they were political. Because Sayyidina al-Hussein promised the people of Baghdad, Iraq, that he will come and help them in front of Yazid, because he promised. He didn't break his promise.
Allah.
They came to him and told him, Ya Hussein, Ya Sayyidina al-Hussein, don't go there. They are going to let you down. Don't go fight with. He said, I'm not fighting. I gave my promise. I'm keeping my promise.
Allahu Akbar.
Al-mu'minu idha wa'ada wafa. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, mu'min, if he promised, he keep his promise. Because he kept his promise, he said, I'm not breaking it in front of Allah and Prophet. And that's why he was killed. Or he was able to pull back. But he didn't, because of his promise. Oh Muslim, if you promise your people to support them, don't let them down to Hizb al-Tahrir and to the Salafis. Support them. Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, you are responsible. I'm speaking to you as your child, as your brother, as whatever. You are our bosses. We follow you. Support those youth and protect them from the hands of Hizb al-Tahrir.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Jazakumullah khair, ahsantu barakallah fi.
Allah yahfazkum.
We're approaching nearing the end of the program, and first of all, I'd like to thank you for taking time out and giving us the precious moments.
Thank you.
That we will cherish and remember for many, many years to come, inshallah.
Thank you. May Allah bless you.
Very lastly, it's intriguing not only for me, but I'm sure for many viewers, that you have the na'al of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam there. It's so beautiful. Can you tell the people the significance? Allahu Akbar, subhanallah, subhanallah.
I wish to be under the na'al of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
I wish to be under the na'al of Sayyidina Abu Bakr and Sayyidina Umar and Sayyidina Usman and Sayyidina Ali and Sayyidina al-Hasan and Sayyidina al-Hussein and all Sahaba.
Subhanallah.
Because this will be our way to paradise.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
So that it is a symbol. it is the shape of the Na'al of Prophet, but it is a symbol for us to remember us. Don't raise your head. You are nothing in front in the presence of Prophet. You are nothing without your leader, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alim or no alim, you will be honored if you will be under his feet. That's why to remind us always.
Allahu Akbar. That is so beautiful, Shaykh. And once again, I would like to thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair, ahsantu barakallah fi, for taking this time out and giving us the precious moments that we will cherish, inshallah.
Thank you very much.
And viewers, this was the program, An Evening with the great Shaykh Muhammad Hisham Al-Kabbani. And we will, inshallah, return the following week with another guest, with An Evening with one of our special guests next week. Thank you very much for watching. Jazakumullah khair, ahsantu barakallah fi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.